Hey everybody, it's TF. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. I'm super late on this one. This is going to be a double review of the Marvel Legends series, part of the Villains Xenmu series, Red Skull and Dormammu. I'm reviewing them both at the same time because, if you couldn't tell, they are both very much similar because they're on the same body mold. I really finally got to open these just now. But I really like them after finally opening them, after months of having them. When I tell you I'm busy, I mean I'm busy. And then new stuff comes out that I want to review first. And yeah, it's just yikes. So, we're going to do a quick double review, trying to make this as quick as possible, although they both come with a lot of stuff. So, we're going to talk about Red Skull first and the Build-A-Figure piece and his accessories. Then we'll take a look at Dormammu. So I'm actually going to talk about the Xenmu Build-A-Figure piece here first, and then I'll bring out the arm that we have here. So this head here comes with Red Skull, and I'm going to do that because I actually have almost every piece of it built now. It's pretty much all assembled, and I just have to put these two pieces on there. Funny enough, I really don't get around to finishing Build-A-Figure piece, Build-A-Figures, unfortunately. It's just kind of how it is sometimes. But this one I was able to finish. I don't really know anything about the character, so that's kind of interesting. But anyway, here's a full image of Xenmu right there. Looking very cool. I'll do a size comparison towards the end of the review so you can see how tall he is compared to these two figures. So since these figures are very similar, they come with a very similar amount of accessories. The differences, of course, are going to be like this head sculpt right here. There's a more angrier, gritting teeth. More normal looking one. It doesn't have as big of a smile as the one he comes packaged with. I like that he came with this head right here. From my understanding, I believe it's pretty much going to be, it's very similar, but it's a different sculpt definitely from this head right here. That is from, I believe, the 2014 Captain America wave, I think from Winter Soldier. You could definitely tell. Not only just the colors, but the way that how big the eyebrows are and whatnot, and just all that. Very, you could probably interchange these if you repainted this and whatnot, but very cool head we have here. I really like some of the black wash actually going on and some of the red. I think the eyes are nicely centered. The teeth came out pretty well, and a lot of nice bone structure and whatnot on this mask is really well done. I am not the biggest fan of science fiction or sci-fi looking guns in this Marvel Legends line. Sometimes, if they look good, like this one here, I like this one. This is, I believe, the comic Star-Lord one here. Then I'll forgive it. And they even have the Hydra logo on there, which is nicely printed. It's just mostly molded in a black cast, but I still think it looks pretty good. So I'm fine with it looking like this. We do also have the Tesseract that we have gotten plenty of times with previous figures, and mostly with Red Skulls and whatnot. So it's a light blue translucent molded plastic. Pretty cool. He comes packaged with trigger hands. So we have these gripped hands here, which they might actually be a different sculpt from what we usually get with gripped hands. These look really good, though. There's some nice wrinkles and details going on in the actual hands that it might not be able to show off. But it's mostly just molded in this lime green color, as you can see. But these look really good. And it goes without saying, he can hold the Tesseract in both hands very well. Last but not least, he comes with a pair of fists. I believe we've gotten these plenty of times with other Marvel Legends. Can't blame them if they've reused these hands. There's not much to improve upon, I think. So here's the head he comes packaged with. I don't dislike it at all. I think it's really good, actually. It reminds me very much of the 2016 Onslaught series one here from Civil War. That was like the first half of the Civil War wave or something. I don't exactly remember. But of course, it's not exactly the same sculpt. This is much bigger too, and different reds going on. I think I just like the one that I showed off a second ago a little bit more. I might pose it with this one more, but I will definitely use this one for this body too. I think it looks really, really awesome. Part of me thinks that the way that it's sculpted, the eyes are a little too far apart, and mostly the right eye, but it's not too bad. The teeth could have a little bit of better paint on this one here. But just like the alternate head, the black wash going on in the light red there, and even in the neck too, I think it looks really good. A lot of bone definition too when it comes to sculpting. It just makes this really pop, and I really like it a lot. You can see some more wrinkles and whatnot, and great detail going on in the neck. I believe this is molded in green because I can see some of the green going through on the neck there. It's a little hard to see on camera. It's a tiny bit disappointing, but I believe this head's going to cover up that splotch. So that should be fine. So this body mold here, yeah, this is brand new to this line, and you know, we get it twice in this wave with these characters. You can see he's over there. I do want to say after I do this quick 360, because I just want to show you what he looks like all the way around. I think this would be great for the all-black Daredevil in sweats, that comic version. If you're not going to give us a Netflix version, Hasbro, then, you know, maybe this version on this body would be awesome. Anyway, the rest of the body here has some nice wrinkles. There's not much going on here. Some smooth details and whatnot. Not much muscle that you can see, but again, there's some wrinkles in the back. A little bit towards this belt piece. Is it brand new? I feel like there's some parts that may be reused, but I'm not entirely sure. I say it's brand new because I see a lot of pinless tech going on here. Not only in the elbows, but we also have it in the knees. So that's pretty nifty. It could be retooled, could be brand new. Like I'm not entirely sure. But we do have these hands that are up and down trigger hands that I think we might have gotten before with other characters. If not, you know, mostly trigger hands can go in and out. I like to see these used for other characters eventually with the up and down method. I like the in and out method, but if a character came with an in and out and up and down trigger hands, that would be kind of cool, not going to lie. Lots of wrinkles. It's mostly molded in this darker green, as you can see, kind of like a forest green. And we do have this yellow armband with the Hydra logo on there that I think is nicely printed, but there's a green splotch coming through, like some mismatching paint or whatever. Basically, it wasn't printed all the way, but it's close enough to where it was pretty much printed enough, you know. We do have some lines, actually, as you can see here, going on the inside. I believe on the outside, no, mostly on the inside, as you can see. Kind of like they look like seam lines. Got this black belt right there. That's just mostly got some wrinkles and whatnot. Some lines sculpted in there. Lots of wrinkles towards the bottom half here. Very wrinkly towards the knees and the upper part of the calves, really. There's the back, too. Even the joints have some sculpting going on there, so that's pretty good. And then we do have these boots, which are slightly different from my understanding from what we're getting with the Dormammu. But I don't remember if these have been reused, because there's a separate boot swivel here. And if anything, the feet are probably reused, and I don't blame them on that. But I don't know about the, you know, actual like calves right here for the calf rotation. But we do have the bottom of the feet there. You know, there's not, even though it's brand new, there's not much to talk about. But I still think it's more simplistic look with this body mold is pretty good. It serves this version of the character well. So we have some articulation going on, as you can see. Not only going on into the neck, into the torso, but also up here. This little ball stick peg system there. Pop this back on. It can go side to side, back, forward, all the way around. No problem. Arms go all the way around. In and out. Upper arm swivel. We do have double jointed elbows. Swivel up the wrist. This is an up and down hinge here, but we do have in and out for the rest of the hands. Ab crunch goes forward, you know, back that much, excuse me, forward here. That much swivel, which kind of looks a little weird when you break up the sculpt and whatnot. Not too bad though. Legs go forward, not really back at all, in and out. We do have upper thigh swivel. We do have double jointed knees, which are a little tight on mine. We do have a swivel here. I forgot to mention there's also a seam line right there. I think mostly on the inside. And then we have a boot rotation, as you can see. And then this is very tight, but that's as far down as you can do with the ankle. Far up is, boy, I might heat that up later. That's about as far up. Could be a little disappointing, but it's not that bad to me, honestly. And then we do have this. It's also a bit ratchety on the pivot, but you could do an ankle pivot. Now, besides, again, the reused accessories for both figures, we do have fire effects here for Dormammu, and I've already gone over the Build-A-Figure piece, of course. As you can see, we do have some more reddish type of translucent plastic going into orangish, kind of. Still looking pretty good. You can wrap these around the arms, I assume. We have this weird crown piece. I don't really know what this is called. It's getting wrapped around one of these hands. This black, just basic black mold here for it. There's a bit of a softer plastic. Well, not super gummy. It's a bit stiff, but you really got to try to break it. So, I'm not a big fan of this thing because it just wouldn't fit around here. But I noticed there's a little tab in there. So there's a little, well, there's a tab on here. There's a hole going underneath his chin. What you want to do, I assume, which is start finagling it, pushing it in, and then that's how it's gonna look, I guess. It can fit in there pretty well. It just protrudes outward a little too much. I mean, probably good for the paint rub and whatnot. If you push it down a little bit, that's what that looks like. Actually, that's not too bad. I didn't really like how it looked in the box, to be quite honest. It probably would be better too if this was a separate sculpt, so we had two heads. But I mean, hey, that's not too bad, I don't think. Let's go over the accessories that are reused again. We have gripped hands here for Dormammu, so we can pose around, do some gripping poses, whatnot. And we do have some fists. I don't really know why this figure comes with trigger hands. I don't think you really need them, but we have them on the figure out of the box, and we have these fists. Very similar, pretty much the exact same as Red Skull's. Now again, if you didn't notice before, these are pretty much the exact same body mold, and I don't blame them for reusing body molds. I think there's enough new going on here with like the arms, legs, and whatnot, and this belt piece up here, chest piece, that warrants the reuse. And I overall, I just think I like it. You know, I think it looks good. Head sculpt here is pretty decent. It has some orangish reddish translucent plastic for the flames going on there. These are actual sculpted lines, and these are actually painted too, that you see on his face. I never got around to doing the Build-A-Figure from 2016 in that Marvel Legends line, but I'm glad I have some kind of Dormammu now, so this is pretty sick. Chest piece here is this softer, well, it's a rubbery type plastic. It's very soft, and it's just in this basic glossy, I don't really know what kind of red it is, but it's in this mold, as you can see here. Looking pretty good. We do have, instead of green, purple for the rest of it. I really don't want to go through, again, all the stuff here. I'm giving you a quick look at what is reused, so you know exactly what's reused that I just showed off, because I just went over it in depth with Red Skull. I think the feet are also reused for both of them. Don't blame them on that, to be quite honest. Now, we do have some different parts up here. These arms right there, the way these pieces are sculpted, this looks really good. And these hands, of course, are reused. Overall, I don't really know what exactly is going on with the actual design here. Looking pretty good. I think it came out pretty decently. Yellow belt is covering what would be the black, more of like a sash there for his, his waist on Red Skull. So that's cool. You could see it a bit, but I still think it's pretty cool that they just, it fits enough and it's covering that. So that way, some people are not just like straight up. It's not hard to tell these are the exact same body mold, but at least they did a little bit to differentiate here, so that way you're not like, oh, they're just lazy and did the Red Skull, which people could consider them lazy if they want to. But quite honestly, again, I like both body molds, or both figures using this body mold, honestly, so I really don't have a problem. We do have, again, some more wrinkles that I talked about. I never really talked about the wrinkles on the butt, did I? Well, there's not much to talk about there. But we do have some weird stuff going on with the actual boots here. You can see there's a lot of these more like triangle designs sticking out, as you can see there, with a little bit of something similar to the gauntlet, the cuffs up here. So overall, there is some new. There's some purple, some red and whatnot, a little bit of yellow, and I think that it works well for this figure. Again, I want to see this on that type of Daredevil I talked about earlier. That would be sick. Anyway, the head sculpt here or the articulation is very similar. So the head actually does pop off. I believe this is the exact same type of neck being used. Yes, I believe it is. It's a bit skinny looking, but there is some wrinkles going on in there. You can just get an idea of what the articulation is going to look like. But ball pegs and whatnot going into the head and going into the torso. So it allows for all this type of range of motion here, up, down, side to side, a little bit of a swivel. But these pieces get in the way, even though they are a softer plastic. Arms want to go all the way around, in and out. This does not get in the way, so that's cool. We do have upper arm swivels. We have double jointed elbows. Swivel up the wrist, up and down for these hands, but they're in and out for the rest of the hands. ab crunch, waist twist, like I've already talked about. Forward, back, side to side. A little bit of this leg looks like it's about to come off actually. Very tight double joint on the knees for my figure here. So there we go there. Swivel. You guys have already seen this, but I do want to mention that the joints aren't as stiff here. Well, except right here. That's extremely stiff. The ankles aren't as stiff here as it was for Red Skull. And then very much similar to with, not that stiff, even though they're ratchets when it comes to the ankle rocker. So quick size comparisons and conclusion for this video. I'm showing you everything I have from this series as well as Xenmu. I don't have the hood, and here's why. Because I do not like the hood at all. I know that there's meme potential and whatnot with that figure. I've seen some great memes on Instagram with that figure and its dumb face. But I just, even with its meme potential, I just really do not like the figure. It's probably my least favorite figure of all that came out this year. Not to be too over dramatic. But I disassembled it. I used the arms and the jacket on this extra Old Man Hawkeye body I wanted to use. I have a Starlight head on here right now. I'm going to change it eventually, but I wanted to use this body and these arms just to make a character like this bounty hunter looking body mold. That honestly, if Hasbro did it this way, I would really like it. Maybe a little bit bulkier arms and whatnot, but I think it turned out very cool. It's my first official actual kit bash where I properly took things apart and made sure I did things properly before. There was no paint involved at all, but yeah, first time I had to use a Dremel basically for an action figure that I think is an official custom, so I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, both of these figures are extremely well done. And I'm not going to review the rest of this series because, yes, these figures are pretty decent, the rest of them and whatnot. I don't have that Doctor Doom from that series. It doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece. Maybe eventually I'll get it. I don't know. But the series overall was okay. And it's cool that we have these characters now in Marvel Legends form. But the overall figures themselves, I wasn't super duper jazzed about. But they are cool to have in your collection if you've been wanting them for quite some time. These two in particular, again, are really awesome. I've been wanting these two characters in Marvel Legends forms for a while, official Marvel Legends version forms that wasn't a Build-A-Figure or wasn't something from a piece of crap from 2014 and whatnot. Very cool stuff here. Yes, they are using the exact same body mold, so that could be a little less special to get them, but I think the body mold overall is really well done. Come with a lot of accessories each, so that's pretty cool. Articulation is very good, and this use of the pinless tech is awesome. And I thoroughly enjoy these figures. I'm going to leave links down in the description where you can try to find these. I'm sure you can still get them if you tried. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you think about this review and these figures. And I will see you guys later.